Today, I wanted to do one last roundup and recap of various bits of news happening with the studio and game. There's quite a lot, actually. May's been a pretty goddamn busy month. We're going to talk a bit about the Skyscale, which is the new mount, the dragon, that we'll be able to ride as of next patch. A few more trailers, including a live-action couple, and something to do with more behind the scenes and char players. So let's start with that last one, I guess. News just broke yesterday or so that much like the male char commander character with Guild Wars, the voice actress for the female char commander is moving on from the game. So that's actually both char now, as far as I remember rightly. The male was, what, last year, a bit before? The female voice actress, she's moving on. I think the devs have announced basically it's because of scheduling issues. The lady that was doing it has gone on to do something else. They wish her well with that. And so basically we have a new voice if you play a female char in the game. And I think it's starting with this very next episode. So that's always a bit unfortunate. It's going to sound a little bit jarring, but the devs have done really well to warn the community to the new voice, I think. As far as I can see, she's a very experienced voice artist. She plays Evelyn in League, among some other stuff, and reception to her char voice has been pretty good. So that's the main thing we're going to be wondering. How does she sound? Well, here from this behind the scenes video, I'll give you guys a bit of a preview.
Working on getting you stronger weapons. Good luck.
That's best. That's the real one. That's it.
I know it's not easy. Lean on Zaim. Remember, this is for Irene.
I won't link the full trailer on this video, only because if you look quite closely at it, I think it's vaguely spoilery for the next release. The devs are usually very careful about that kind of stuff. But hey, so yeah, there's going to be a new voice actress for female char. I say this in this video like it's somewhat of a big deal, and a lot of you guys are going to be interested in knowing that, but I suspect you probably don't play a female char, as it is one of the rarer options in the game, honestly. So yeah, you guys will have to leave your comments and let me know how you feel about that, or in fact, when I do my big stream of War Eternal when it comes up on Tuesday, maybe we could play a female char on there and see how she sounds. People weren't fully taken away with the previous voice actress's work and how she'd done things since the personal story ended. So basically, if we look in the story journal here, I don't think people were too impressed. Everything from Season 2, Heart of Thorn, Season 3, Path of Fire, and Season 4 so far wasn't necessarily the best. So hey, getting a new one now might be kind of nice. But that's just my understanding as someone who doesn't really play much female char in the first place. You guys can obviously round that opinion out down below. So yeah, that's one of the big things in just the past 24 hours that really happened. Let's talk about something a bit further ago as well. Remember this trailer? Remember I talked about the fact they'd done some CGI work, the theories that this could have been because of a mobile game that ended up getting cancelled? Well, there's a lot of other promotional material for Guild Wars 2 that came out right around this time. That video I created with the whole mobile conspiracy thing was kind of undermined in the hours after I released it, where one of the members of ArenaNet posted on the forums saying, look, this was made specifically for Guild Wars 2. Kinda put a bullet in the head of those theories, but afterwards on this thread they ended up linking loads of different trailers and works the devs had done. So I don't know if you guys have seen these, but there's a lot of new adverts for Guild Wars. Definitely that CGI one has appeared. In fact, on some of my own videos, which I think is really kind of weird and cool, someone could have clicked my video for my analysis of an advert and had the advert that played before it. What bizarre times we live in. But there are some others. Now, these I don't know if you guys have seen. I do want to talk about them first. Are a selection of vacation-themed adverts for Guild Wars 2. The idea is the devs took the 5 major cities. So you've got Divinity's Reach, you've got Ratasum, you've got the Grove, you've got Holbrook, and you've got the Black Citadel, and each has their own advert. It's a short 15-second or so clip that might play somewhere on the internet, and it's basically environmental shots of what's interesting about those areas with a voiceover that's, you know, cheesily trying to get you to come and play and hang out in their specific city. There wasn't Lion's Arch included. There wasn't Amnoon Oasis included. Heart of Thorns obviously never had any of its own city. Maybe they could have picked Tarir or something. So it really is only core stuff, and I guess possibly because of the whole free-to-play angle, but, you know, they could have picked LA as well, surely. They didn't in the end. Here, I will show you guys what the trailers look like, and there's not much to say, but here.
Crafty Char raised the industrial city of Ascalon on the ruins of Rin. Sip cocktails at the Serrated Blade, or see the hottest art from the great Imperial Smelter.
Queen Jenna's luxury escape features everything from acres of elegant royal gardens to casual hearty pub eats. Divinity's Reach has something for everyone. Huddle up by the hearth at Newt Whitebear's hunting outpost. Lend your ear to legends at the Lorstead, or skate on Lake Morn at this unbeatable winter retreat. Explore an arcane metropolis and meet its Azora engineers. Wander bioluminescent gardens beneath floating pyramids in this skybound spectacle.
Welcome to the Grove. Meditate beneath the mother tree, share an organic, cold-pressed nectar, or observe Ventari's teachings at this dream destination.
So there you have it. They're just fun, little, cute things to advertise the game. I really don't have much more commentary to offer than that. Except, did you notice that the whole bracket trailer seemed to have Tarnished Coast music going on in the background, and the Ratasum trailer had the Norn theme, so it's like they mixed those up somehow. Just something small I spotted. Much more interesting than the vacation spots are a couple of live action trailers. Ooh, now live action, that's pretty interesting to me. The only other examples of physically real-world recorded promotional material for Guild Wars 2 we haven't been that good. It's been the original launch trailer with the whole breaking the mold and the weird cityscape that had very little to do with the game, and then all of a sudden, you know, we look at the Zaitan fight.
For too long, a shadow has gripped the land, and we have stood by, paralyzed.
And then there was also the taxi cab campaign a few years ago, which was notoriously disliked by the community, and, you know, it's kind of laughed at, a bit of a jokey thing. I quite enjoy it at this point for that reason.
What do you do in San Francisco?
I write computer programs mostly. I'm a comic book editor.
I suppose you've had PvP stuff that they've shot in physical, but here, check it out. Some new live action trailers for Guild Wars, and, well, you'll see what they're going with.
Alarm team, check. Getaway team, check. All right, people, let's do it. Are you kidding me?
Everyone's been summoned. Join your fellow heroes in Guild Wars 2.
Amateurs.
Everyone's been summoned. Join your fellow heroes in Guild Wars 2.
You guys are firing on all cylinders. We're not gonna win big today. We're gonna win huge. Because today is our
Yay!
Everyone's been summoned. Join your fellow heroes in Guild Wars 2.
Right, so obviously some outside company has come in and shot these generic little, you know, scenes that could work for any game or any product, really, almost. And then they just slap a little bit of Guild Wars 2 footage onto the end. They're a little bit cheesy, maybe, but not too bad. And I gotta ask you guys, have you seen these? I didn't know they existed until one of you guys in the community sent me a nice message on Discord. So thanks so much for that. And I'm happy to reshare them with you all here. You're not gonna get any really fun analysis from me about them. They're just ads, but it's worth at least acknowledging that they exist. I will say it's probably really smart that the main theme of the ads is that loads of people are playing Guild Wars 2 and to present the idea that it's super populated. That's the number one thing for an MMO. Moving on, let's talk a bit about the Skyscale. So this was pretty nice. During the week, the ArenaNet devs did do a stream showcasing the mount. And that's obviously before it's available in-game right now. We still have the original roster plus the Warclaw. So I think they might have done the stream early this time, considering the whole thing had been kind of pushed back or whatever, and maybe that left some gaps in the guild chat schedule. They basically suggested this is not the only stream that they'll be doing, but once the patch is out, they're going to have another one of more behind the scenes, and we'll maybe get more insights. They seem to be quite cautious not to spoil things on this one. They were talking in some kind of roundabout ways about these dragons we're riding. Are they as powerful as Aurene? Are they dragons that could become elder dragons? All these kinds of questions that I think the patch itself will have to deal with. They were kind of hastily talking around. But there were some amazing little things we saw. Obviously, the footage that you're watching right now in the background is pretty juicy itself. They had 3 different Skyscales dyed in different ways. I think that's a great thing to do, considering how much the dyes can change the way the various mounts in Guild Wars 2 look just from that alone. But they showed off some of the mechanics. So you got this one here with the clinging to the walls. You'll notice that there's an endurance meter. Now that's used for like an airborne dash. And there's also another meter they call flight juice. I don't know what the official in-game name of this resource will be, if it even has one, though I think it should have some kind of notifier. And the flight juice is used to raise and lower the Skyscale off the ground. It actually is just able to hover anywhere and everywhere. Imagine when you're on a skimmer and you're holding down the mount action button to drift really high in the air. Imagine if you could just do that permanently and it just, you know, would be a place where you'd idle. Well, that's kind of how the Skyscale feels. You can actually just stay sitting on a dragon, continuously perched in the air. There's some nice specifics about how high you can go and how that's limited as you move. The dash you can use with your endurance kind of augments that, but I'll give you guys full details and summaries once I've got it for myself, and we'll do a full-on Meet the Skyscale video as I've done with all of the other mounts. I'm really excited about. Another fun thing they showed off on the stream was these special paths you can fly along that are littered throughout not just the new map, but all the old maps as well. This footage you're looking at right now is in the Desert Highlands. That's Path of Fire launch map, and they've gone back and added like this flight path where when you acquire a Skyscale, you can go back to other areas of Tyria and use it to, you know, unlock new routes through the world. That's amazing, and that's what the mastery system should be about. So I'm extremely happy with that. How many they've put in all the other maps, I guess we'll have to see. Does it even go back to core maps, Heart of Thorns maps? I seriously doubt with those ones. But it's an excellent idea that I wish that some of the other recent masteries had done more with. This is the equivalent of when they added the roller beetle, them having gone back to older maps to add destructible walls for you to use your roller beetle on. It reminds me a lot of when Path of Fire came out. You would go to the Desert Highlands, see these jackal portals, or hell, any map, I guess. And then it was only way later in the expansion, once you unlocked the Sand Jackal, you could return, go through the portals, and end up at that amazing sky city above the Highlands. You kind of get this same experience, I hope, with the Skyscale. And so that's very nice. Lastly, they even showed off a couple of the idle animations, including one where your character throws a fish to feed the Skyscale, which is nice. They even mentioned that the idols where your character kind of interacted with the mount seem to have been really popular and successful. And they're totally right. Remember that Reddit thread right as Path of Fire came out that had thousands of upvotes showing the Raptor idol? I'm kind of disappointed we haven't seen any of the other ones catch up, because there's some great idols on the other mounts too. Hopefully this one will do well. You know what I'm tempted to do? Use that technique that Shaman showed on their Twitter to do super slow-mo footage and get a really nice slow-mo GIF or something of the fish being fed. One of you guys should do that. Post it on Reddit, see if people enjoy it. But there you go. So that's the idea of the Skyscale. It's bloody huge, by the way. The wingspan is much, much more so than the Griffin. They specifically talked on the stream about how they had made it bigger. And the last note I have, I guess, is that it is a fire field. The engage attack where you'll breathe fire on the floor is actually classified as a field, and what that kind of means is every class in the game, as far as open world PvE is concerned now, gets access to a fire field. That means you've got a fire field, say, on Necro and stuff where you may not have had one before. So that's kind of nice. Well, so that's about it. There will obviously be more streams and more stuff coming up as War Eternal itself comes out. We're about to be flooded with things. I wanted to get on top of the pile right before that happened here as the week begins. So thanks very much for watching, guys. I made a video just last night talking about all the new stuff coming up on the channel, my return to regular streaming and the big event on Tuesday. Be sure to check the description for details on that. I'll see you next time.